how did you start your business? What made you wealthy? When you invest in something, what is the most important aspect? If you can give advice, what would that be?
If you do those 5 things well, you'll be successful, but you'll also probably be your downfall, because you'll begin to have pride. You'll begin to believe you're better than other people, because these 5 things will help you get up here, but they'll also make you think you're up here too and better than people. If you'll do number 6, which is the key to this whole story, this will make you successful. This will make you happy. There's nothing wrong with that, with only having $1 million house. If you do, make sure your neighbors have one too.
안녕하십니까. 밑돌세 인사드립니다. 오늘은 35세의 경제적 자유를 이루고 40년간 26개의 사업을 운영해온 리치그룹 회장님 제임스 선생님의 차를 작업해드리고 그 대가로 회장님의 성공 비결을 배웠습니다. 새 차 영상은 따로 업로드 됩니다. 수업료라고 생각하시고 좋아요 눌러주시고 여러분들이 배우게 된 것을 댓글로 남겨주시면 감사하겠습니다. 인터뷰 시작합니다.
Okay, thanks for your time. I was really excited, honestly. I got into life stage where every day is same. I wake up at 5 in the morning, work all day long, and then have dinner with my wife, work a little bit longer, and sleep. You know, it's the same thing happened again and again in my life. But then today, do something different. So it was like I was full of excitement last night, so I couldn't really sleep. But thank you so much for your time. So how old are you? Sorry.
I'm 80.
How does it feel like to be 80?
You know, it's good, and it's really hard sometimes. I too have had a life, been fulfilled, very active, very involved, very engaged, and now I'm kind of on the sideline. My name's still on the door of our family's business, but they don't call me much anymore. They've gone on beyond to bigger and better things, and so it's kind of interesting. And so it really is interesting, is these opportunities slow down on where you've used to giving back and serving others. Now it's just try to find your own way, because what am I going to do today, you know, to make myself useful and productive, because it's not as easy as it was when everybody wanted you to be involved. Now you have to create that opportunity, or you really are wasting a lot of time. So, you know, sometimes retirement is overrated. Okay? Stay involved while you're young. And I have so many friends right now, my age. We've lost half the classmates to have died and is incapacitated or wheelchair, or work hard while you're young, because the day will come when you either won't be here or you'll be unable, or nobody will want you to do it. So,
yes.
Anyway.
Yes, I 100% understand that this time is my time, that I need to work hard and use 100% of my potential and ability to achieve things, and not only for the family, for myself, and develop myself in the longer perspective. What makes you happy?
Well, family, of course, is watching them succeed and perform. And let me go back and share with you what really was one of the great motivation things of my life. Was way back in 1964. I happened to be in Scotland I was lucky enough to be there under a man named David B. Haight. And we got to work closely together for several months. And a week before I came home, he pulled me aside we're on a riverboat cruise. I want to tell you what I want you to go home and do. And if I promise you, if you do it, well, I'm going to tell you how to do it. I promise you'll be successful, and I also promise you'll be happy. But I'm going to share with you what that formula was, because it's been the secret of my success, and probably the success of tens of thousands of people we've shared with all over the world. He said these 5 things to be successful: get up early, work hard, get your education. Now that can be going to school, it can be reading books, watching podcasts, doing things that you do, but somehow be reading and looking and learning to get your education. Why? So you can find your oil. J. Paul Getty called it find your oil. We've robbed that term, but finding your oil means that in the process of if we get up early and work hard and get our education, we're going to find where our strengths are. Where could I succeed easier? Where could I make the most contribution? So you got to find your oil, find your strengths, because if you don't, you get stuck in a mediocre job somewhere where you don't have the strengths and you aren't the best at what you do, and so you just kind of exist. You might survive, but you're not really going to make a contribution. So find your oil so that you can, number 5, make your mark. Get up early, work hard, get your education, find your oil, and make your mark. Go out and do something with it. And if you do, he said, I promise you that you'll be successful. Now, he also gave a warning. He said, if you do those 5 things well, you'll be successful, but you'll also probably be your downfall. Because you'll begin to have pride. You'll begin to believe you're better than other people. So you'll have to be very careful when you do this, because these 5 things will help you get up here, but they'll also make you think you're up here too and better than people. So be careful. Because if you'll do number 6, which is the key to this whole story, number 6 is give back, serve others. If you will do all of these 5 things with the intent that you're going to help other people also be successful, help other people learn how to enjoy life and be successful, then you'll be happy, and it will also probably keep you humble enough that you won't be destroyed by your own success. This will make you successful. This will make you happy. I can bear witness to that in my life. I've done a lot of things in the community and had a lot of business success. We retired very young. We had 26 businesses at one time, and it's just been a great life of being able to serve, because David Haight said, here's what to do to have enough so you can go do those things, and then go do them. So giving back and serving others is the real key to your life. That's the key to being happy. And I just want to bear witness that's really true. We found out, we've taught that now for 40 years, and I've never had anybody that hasn't said, hey, when I do that, I'm happy. And when I'm living this way, I'm successful. That's more than you wanted to know, but
No, it is perfect. Yeah, I want to know more, because I totally agree and admire your points, because the reason why I quit my job at Goldman Sachs was I know my characteristic. I know who I am. I like to help people, and then when I help people, I find happiness.
Amen.
And then when I was at Goldman Sachs or any corporate job, I found that in order to go up, I need to put someone down. So that's not my characteristic. That's not my nature. And that's not what I want to do in my life. You said every person has the oil, they have to find it. I interpret as a talent or a character, and what they naturally good at, or they can build upon, and something special, make it something special. Is it correct?
After we'd done all this stuff in between, I used to help build this little company called Franklin Quest. Became Franklin Covey today. We started from scratch, and a handful of employees, ended it with 3,000 employees, and we were training 6 million people every year how to take control of their life, how to draft a personal constitution, how to identify their values, and then help them, if this is their behavior, how to close that gap. If you can figure out what you want to be in life, reduce it to writing, personal constitution, if you will, and then realize, here's my behavior, and if I now know what I want to be, then I can work on my behavior, trying to close that gap, to become congruent with my values, or trying to close that gap and put our life in order, identify what it is I want to be, and then try to live that principle to become that principle. That's what makes us feel good inside, is when we're progressing, we're getting better. We know what we want to be, we know where we want to go, and we're trying to make our behavior in conformity with that. I'll give you what we call we taught the world the triquation. An equation, as you know, are 2 things that are equal. A triquation would be 3 things that are equal. And that was, we discovered that our self-esteem is equal to our productivity. If we're not producing, our self-esteem goes down. If we're just wasting our life playing video games, etc., our self-esteem is down here, and we won't go up until we decide what we want to do with our life and increase our productivity, and as it does our self-esteem. Well, how do you do that? The third part, I wish I had three hands. The third part is event control. Take control of the events of your life. If you take control of the events of your life, you'll automatically increase your productivity and your self-esteem will go up. So if we can teach you how to take control of these, you got 1,000 minutes every day. If we can help you plan those 1,000 minutes with things you want to do that will help you become more like your values, then your behavior will improve. And if we can identify those 1,020 minutes, what to do with them, our productivity goes up and our self-esteem goes up. And if our productivity goes up into areas where we want to improve, then obviously we're going to be happy, we're going to be productive, we're going to be helping other people, and we're loving life. If we don't, our productivity goes down, our self-esteem goes down, we find ourselves sleeping in and wasting our life and wasting time and not helping other people, and we get discouraged, and we're living in a society today where the young people, a third of them apparently have discuss suicide. Why? Because their productivity is zero, their self-esteem is zero, and because they're not taking control of these events of their life. It's just identifying, what am I going to do today, making a plan, and then executing that plan. But the plan is based on what I'm trying to become. If I plan that and I get it and I execute it, then I feel good about my day because I'm doing things that help me become like I want to become. And that's the goal in life, is to identify what it is I want to become, help me learn how to make a plan every day, what I can do, things that will help me become this. And my self-esteem goes up, my productivity goes up, my world changes because I'm now helping the community, I'm helping my family, I'm teaching them how to do the same thing, and so we're all together, we're growing and we're progressing. We ended up being a $1 billion company just teaching people how to take control of their life. 6 million corporate executives a year we trained. It was an incredible experience watching that happen because we had something that was really eye-opening to say, I get it. And that's what's scary about today's world. Today's world, we are struggling as a nation and as a world. We're losing our religious beliefs. We're losing our family. As the religion goes down and family goes down, all of a sudden we don't have any values. We don't know where we're going. We don't know why we're doing it. And so we disintegrate into video games and wasted time on social media, wasting our life.
However, I told my wife that according to what happened in my life, I had a near-death experience. And so I'm from humble family where didn't even have a restroom in the house. In the cold winter, I had to bring my clothes to go to the restroom, and there's no light. And Korea is a pretty developed country, but my family wasn't. And then with the opportunity that I could come to America, and then I worked hard and studied hard, and I came this far, and then I told my wife, trust me, I'm going to do something big. And then I became very tuned into myself. But your advice actually helped me a lot to kind of like think about my day-to-day life. It can impact a lot. So, and I truly believe your success, pretty sure it is not from just your excellence. I'm pretty sure because your wife also supported you and to be on the same page and help and raise the children and support what you do and your decisions and things like that, equally achieved together, I believe.
Amen. Very true. You know, we and then beginning our family, but also beginning our entrepreneurship. I spent more time than I should have working on the entrepreneurship side, but I still came home every night. She was having children and keep a beautiful home and doing the things she was doing. She never complained, never could, I went home for dinner and so forth. But during the years when I was making my mark over here, she was making her mark over here with the family and with things that really mattered a lot more. And eventually I got my balance in place where I was spending more time for the family, and where we joined hands, and I helped do more than I used to make sure that family also stayed on track. But meantime, when I was focused over here, she was not focused over here. She was focused on what was most important. But together, we made it work, because the kids turned out. Kids all grew up knowing how to work and knowing how to clean a house and do other things in life. And together, they've now become much more successful even than we were, because they learned that formula and learned how to work, learned how to do it for the right reason, learned how to have a family and how to love each other and help each other. And so far, it's working.
You know, a lot of young people these days going through very sad time, depression, or they don't even have motivation to do anything. Why do you think this younger generation people are sad?
I don't know the numbers, but I'm told maybe it's half, but up to half of the kids in this country are being raised in a single family home. They don't either they don't have parents, or they don't have a father. They don't know who he is. And so they're being raised in a home without that, what you just talked about, that balance, that equal yoke. And as a consequence, they don't know where to go. They don't know what's going on. They don't have religion. They don't have value system. And so they join the gangs. They waste their life. Their life is going nowhere. And as a consequence, our country is suffering because of that. So family is so crucial, and being equally yoked in knowing what's most important. But that's the key. You got to find your oil. Find where you can really make a contribution, not only to become financially successful, but to be able to have something to give back and help the world. So we applaud what you're doing by what you're trying to do and what you're doing. So keep it up.
How did you start your business, and what made you wealthy?
Watching my dad and mother, first, they were entrepreneurs. So that's where you grew up, just working hard and running that. So for me, it was what I thought everybody did. So it was natural for me to become an entrepreneur. And I learned that early. I learned a lot of lessons in life by watching people. And I discovered that that's what we teach in our Launching Leaders course is how to identify mentors, people who are going to be important in your life, by watching them and learning from them and asking them questions and copying what they do. All of a sudden you discover the secrets of success by mingling with the right kind of people and then learning from them. Quick illustration is the most successful man in Heber City at the time was a businessman, and I was a young 7th or 8th grader in school that had polio, so I had a bad leg. I stuttered badly in school, and so I was really scared about a lot of things in life. But one day I got my name in the newspaper, the local newspaper, for something. I might have got an A in a class. I don't know what it was. Some little simple thing. But this busiest man in town, he wrote me a personal letter and congratulated me on what I'd done. I mean, I still remember that, what I felt, to think that Gordon Mendenhall would send Jim Ritchie, a limping, stuttering chicken farmer's kid, a letter, a personal note, and what it meant to me to think that he would take the time to do that. And just the other night, again, a kid come up to me. We met him at the movie theater, and he said, "I've never forgotten the letter you sent me when I got on the honor roll or something." And I get that all the time, because I just learned how to do that from copying what Gordon Mendenhall did for me. Well, that's really is the key to life, is mix with good people, identify good people, find people that, if someone's successful in life and you realize it, is because they're always smiling and they ask positive questions and they're nice to you, then you say, well, maybe I should smile. And by doing that, I learned all that by watching other people. But it's what made us successful was putting the best of life into our life, and then helping other people learn how to do that as well. So mentors and friends and associates, watching people, copying people, We need to go to the mountain with people who know more life than we do and partner with them and be like them. And all of a sudden we start growing and progressing and gaining these attributes of success. So that was my secret to success, was watching my dad and my mom, and then going out and trying to learn more by watching other people, partnering with them, starting businesses, failing sometimes, but successful the next time, learn from our mistakes, and we gradually get better and better and better till we're finally someday we have something that we can give back and help other people.
When you invest in something, what is the most important aspects that make you decide to put your asset?
The people. And sometimes it's their idea, what they're trying to do with it. But usually you're gambling on people. If you trust them and you like them and you like their idea and you've seen them. I mean, it's like my case with Hiram Smith. Hiram Smith was a friend of mine, and he started this little company, Franklin Covey today, and I had confidence that he was going to make it work. And so when he invited me to come and help him, it was an easy decision to do that, and it turned out to be a great decision. So I gambled on not what his idea was, but on with him, and that's been our success in life. We've had a lot of partners in life. All the things that we've really had that's been successful has tied to somewhere along the line, tying into some people who wanted to help you, we wanted to help them, whatever, and together we created this idea and built it, either to success or to failure, but both ways we had a great experience.
If you can give advice to this young generation, what would that be?
Well, I would think it would be to identify your values. What do you really want most out of this life? And then work toward those things. I think that today we set too much emphasis on the worldly things. I know it's expensive for these young people to get into homes, but I remember our beginnings, just the things we did to make it work. We had some used furniture and that kind of thing. You don't need it all right to begin with. And then keep working toward your eternal goals. Those are the most important. That's what I'd say.
To add to that, and to end where I began, live the formula. Get up early, work hard, read good books, get yourself an education, identify your talents, your strengths, and then use them to become better at something. Mingle with good people, partner with good people, invite people into your life, go to the mountain with good people and ask them questions about why are you successful? How can I put in my life what you are? I mean, learn from that, and then go out and do it, and just every day get better at what you're doing and make your mark, and then do it with the intent as you go and as you go along to help other people also make it work. David Haight told me one day, he said, there's nothing wrong with only having $1 million house. But he said, if you do, make sure your neighbors have one too. If you want to have a big, showy $5 million house, go for it. But make sure all your neighbors have one too. And if you do, then it won't be prideful. It won't be destroying you. It'll be means that you're helping your community and your neighborhood and your family and your friends be successful at two at the same time. So it won't hurt you with pride. You'll still have nice things in life, but you won't do it to show off. You'll do it because you want to help other people.
That hit me very, very hard, because my life motto is where I want to be rich so that I can help more people. Every stage of life, I can still help people. But if I have more money, I can help more people.
Yeah. Yep.
So I want to use my talent to be rich. The way to be rich, I want that to be something positive. So that's why.
Or else it will destroy you with pride. You'll begin to believe your own story. to the point that you'll end up being unsuccessful in your marriage and your life because you will have focused on doing all these things for you and not for your family or others. And it will eventually be your downfall.
I think that's why a lot of rich people, so-called rich people, are unhappy.
Yep. Yep.
I think that's-
And at the same time, the rich people in America, especially, are the biggest donors to help other people. So the very thing is true. It'll either destroy you with pride, or it'll help you help other people. One way or the other. Either you do it to make you look good, or you do it to help other people look good. Whichever one you choose will be where your end fate will be at the end. Either you're going to be happy, or you're going to feel like you missed out on life because you focused on me and not on us. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. And
You know, you don't really need to wash a car, okay? I'd love to have it watch you do something, but I feel guilty having you go out there because we got 2 cars out there that either one of them would be a good candidate, but they're not either one that they're dirty and ruined and stuff. But you two tell me, do you really want to do that, or would you rather not?
yeah, I would love to do it.
It's been fun getting to remember who you were and getting to know you again. I told my wife you were one that party that came to the open house of the hotel in the resort in Kauai, and how you we gave you a room and stuff and that. Anyway, all right, let's go pick a car, shall we?
영상 시청해주셔서 감사합니다. 영상을 재밌게 보셨다면 저때때그 좋아요, 댓글, 다른 영상 보기, 구독해주시면 감사하겠습니다. 특히 좋아요 꼭 좀 부탁을 드리겠습니다.